They say at psychomedics a lot, certainty of detection is the best deterrent. Those drivers that call in and say, do you hair test, as you said, they're doing that for a reason. And I think the deterrence factor, it shows up here in these industry numbers that we're showing across a variety of industries. And I think when we look at your numbers that you all are sharing today, we're going to see the same thing. And what I'm really looking forward to is having you guys kind of talk about why you think it is. Oh, and also as we get into those, kind of how you've implemented this and how you're driving those numbers. So let me jump straight into that. And Dean, you've been testing longer than anybody. So let's go start with your data.
Sure, Alan. We started in August of 2012. Basically, it was like I said, it was a decision that our leadership team made that it was the right thing to do, and the data was very compelling in what I was seeing in the industry of what the results were. And we've completed to date a little over, this is through the end of June, a little over 10,000 tests. You can see the numbers there. This data, these rates are for the complete scenario that I've been testing. So you can see clearly there what's happened. It's interesting to me, and I think the thing that I'm the proudest of is the fact that since we implemented this, and I'm very superstitious, so I'm going to knock on wood in case y'all can hear that, we've had 0 positives on a post-accident drug test since we implemented it. We talked a little bit about how we put this stuff into place. We gave everybody a notice that we were going to implement it, all new recruits and things, and I shared with Wilson and Greg both that we put the word out early that we were going to go to this, and there's multiple times during our process in recruiting that we share that we're hair testing. And so I think the more you tell them up front, I think the less positive rate you're going to have. I do think that you have a window there, and I think one of you guys are going to talk about this, but you have a window there that you're going to experience a higher rate, but you can clearly see from my stats here of how it's come down and what's currently trending. I can say that the year of 2020 so far, I've tested 415 random tests, which we're required to do. We have to meet a certain percentage for the Department of Transportation. We've done 415 through the end of June, and I've had 0 positive randoms that I've done this year. So clearly the deterrent factor works. You stop them up front and you don't have the issues later on in down the road. And I believe in it.
So it's interesting because when you do the DOT randoms, those are urine tests, right?
Yes, currently.
So you're actually driving down the urine positive rate when you start using hair.
Exactly.
And then you got this downstream effect of 0 positives on post-accident, also a urine test. So it's something to remember as we go forward. Wilson, I'm going to put your numbers up here. I just think I tell a great story, so I'll just let you tell it.
Yeah, as you can see, we started in, actually was March of 2018. And as you were just talking about, the urine is what's interesting here. We were at over 2.5% testing positive, and so far this year we're at just over 1%. So urine test positive decreased by 57%. Obviously deterring drug users from coming. We do the same thing in the process with recruiting. We're letting people know early and often that you will be given and have to pass a hair test in addition to your urine test before you can come through the orientation or complete the orientation process. we think it's obviously a big deterrent. We do get those phone calls, Greg, or used to get those same calls where, you know, the first thing out of the first question the candidate would ask or applicant would ask is, do you do hair testing? Actually, when we were examining and looking to go into hair testing, we would, I won't say there hadn't been times where we didn't say yes to that question before we started. And the next thing you hear is click. They just hang up. So you don't get any more information from them. To Greg's point about you don't want that person, if that's your first question, you obviously don't want them in your orientation. So we were using that to deter them also.
Yeah, and that number that you've got here, the 900 driver applicants that would have gotten into the system had you not, you know, caught them up front. I'm assuming that that is a fairly significant cost if you bring some of those in and they make it into orientation and you find out later and you've got to offboard them. And so some of that cost avoidance we talk about a lot as well.
Well, you're right, Alan. There's that cost avoidance, and for much of that time, we were offering, as other trucking companies do. This is a high turnover industry, and everybody's competing for good truck drivers. We were offering a sign-on bonus. So if you hire this person and you wind up paying out some or all of a sign-on bonus, and he fails the first random, or you know, you hit him with a reasonable suspicion, or there's some other issue, he just decides to go collect another sign-on bonus somewhere else if he can pass their drug test. It's saving you those dollars also.
Nice. I'm going to go ahead and flip over to Greg with U.S. Express. Some more interesting stories, and I love the slide that you sent us on the rates by month. I think they tell an interesting story as well, so I'll let you pick it up from here.
So yeah, we implemented hair testing in actually back in 2018. We did it in a little different manner. Back in 2018, and it was the latter portion of 2018, about 50% of our hires came from the student population. So someone that's never operated a commercial motor vehicle before, wanted to come into the industry. So that was about 50% of our hires. So we thought, you know what, maybe that's a good place to cut our teeth, so to speak. So in the fourth quarter of 2018, we rolled that out to our student population. And if you would have looked at this hair test positive rate back into that fourth quarter of 2018, it was even higher than these numbers. And I think that's indicative of someone that doesn't hold a commercial driver's license coming into a new industry that is very safety sensitive. Maybe they've made some bad decisions prior to holding that commercial driver's license. So what we saw there was a much higher positive rate with hair testing, but we saw it drop off quickly. So that's what drove us to the decision to go ahead and roll this out to all of our drivers, including any new experienced driver coming in. And what I noticed is with those new experienced drivers coming in, there was a lower positive rate, but still it was up there. And it truly is a situation where drivers will self-select. So as soon as you tell them that you're doing a hair test, they're gonna hang up the phone and they're gonna go to another company that is not performing a hair test. But I will tell you, it's similar to Dean's results and similar to Wilson's results. Once we went down that path, you immediately saw the benefit in the positive rate. And not only the positive rate in the hair test, but the positive rate in the DOT urine. So a great story. And I will tell you, I believe that what we're showing with the 0.9 positive results on the DOT urine and the 8.5 on the hair test through July of 2020, I think we're going to see that continue to decrease. Similar to what Wilson and Dean saw, we're just a little bit earlier in the process. But I will tell you, I think it's one of the best things we've ever done. I will tell you, just like Dean and Wilson stated, there needs to be a lot of education on the front end. a lot of education, not only in the recruiting group, but your operations group. And I would tell you, even from a sales and marketing standpoint, I think there's benefit to having that information out there for your sales team to understand, hey, we do everything we can to be the safest carrier, within reason, right? I mean, the safest fleet would be a fleet that's parked against a fence, but you can't make money if all the trucks are parked against a fence. So everything in our world is a balancing act. But it truly is one of the best decisions we made.